Hey guys, it's May again, and I just want to say thank you to all of you who have really watched my easy peasy mini album tutorial, which is this one, and I have not forgotten you. I know we want to get into it and start decorating. And so what I thought I'd do is try to do videos that show 2 to 3 elements at a time, depending on how they are to put together. And this is the front of the mini album. If you remember, we have the flat page there. And I wanted to put something unique right here just to kind of use this flat page and to make something unique. So we're going to make an element for right here now. So what I'm going to call this is an accordion pocket page. And the first thing you're going to need is a piece of paper, and this one's black. I use a lot of black, don't I? And it's going to be 8 inches long by 6 inches high, okay? So that's the first thing you need. And what you're going to do is we're going to do some scoring. The first thing is I want you to score it in half. So you're going to score from the 3-inch mark straight down, and that gets you a half. Then from that 3-inch mark, I want you to come in 1/4 to the 2 3/4 mark and score one more time. Okay, that'll all make sense later. Now you're going to turn it to where the 8 inches is long ways. We're going to score it at 2 1/2. And then we're going to turn it again around and score it at 2 1/2. And I only really did that because I'm using the mini and I didn't have enough room to do it on this end. So it leaves us with 3 inches in the middle of our score marks and 2 1/2 on either side. So now we need to do a little cutting. So I want you to just come over to the side here. And at this section, you're going to cut this whole thing away. The score line and this one. We just did that because it made it easier when we were scoring. So we're going to go ahead and cut away from our middle score line to our 2 1/2 inch score line, and then from the bottom up. Now don't throw these little scraps away because you will find that you can use these later. Alright, and we're going to do the same thing over here. We're basically going to make like a T piece of paper. Something the shape of a T. I think this is pretty easy. And these are the dimensions I'm using to fit that spot. But when you're making a mini album, you pick your dimensions and you just decide what you're going to put there. And you'll just have to do the math to make this fit if you want to do this element. But you can put it in any spot in your book. Okay, now that we've got all those score marks, then we're going to go back to the scoreboard. And what we want to do here is on this section that is where our 2 1/2 inch score mark is over, we're going to score at 1/2 inch all the way across. That was 1 inch, 1 1/2, 2, and that should do it there. And now we want to do the same thing on this side, and I'm going to do something a little difficult. I'm going to flip it like this because I want my score lines to run in the same direction, and I'm going to start at 2, holding it really firm, and just work my way backwards. It's not perfect, but it works. Okay, so now you're done with your scoreboard. Put it aside. So now you can see all of our score marks here at 1/2 inch intervals. This will be our accordion. So here's what we'll do. We will accordion it back on itself, trying to stay as straight as possible. And you can use your bone folder if you want to make this really tight. That's up to you. It's really okay with me if I just get it folded good and straight. A tip for folding straight is to watch your edges. Make sure they're lined up. Now the only thing that's going to matter is that your top accordion faces inward. Mine does. See that? That top one has to face in. Let's do the other side. Now I'm going to lift it up and show you. Both of my accordion pieces face inward, okay? Now before we do anything else, I want to grab this piece and I want to fold it on both of those score lines we made, starting with the middle one and then the one that's 1/4 inch away. So basically, we're creating kind of a gusset right here, okay? Now then, on this part, you want to use some good sturdy tape. A score tape, a red line tape, whatever you have. I'm going to use ATG for the video, but on the one I did earlier, I actually used score tape. I think it would hold up better. Okay. Now all you do is you want to bring these down, and you do not have to flatten them because you've made a gusset for them to fill up. And you're going to let this piece wrap over and just land on top and let it fill out. Okay, so you can see how we have accordioned this pocket. I'm big on accordion pockets. I don't know why, I like all the space. but we're actually going to do something different with this one. Notice how this one is 1/4 of an inch shorter because of our gusset. It doesn't matter. You're not going to see that. It's going to be hidden anyway. So now let's work on the other parts of this. This is what's going to make it a neat little piece to go in your book. The first thing I've done is I've cut a piece of paper that will mat the box to give me a spot for journaling or rubber stamping or what have you. If you already know what you're going to make your theme of, go ahead and rubber stamp it. I don't have a clue what I'm putting in this one, so I'm just going to adhere it to the top. There's a messy job with my ATG. Okay. And I'm just going to stick that here. So that gives me a good spot to stamp or write or whatever I want to do. Now then, I have made 3 mats. And they are in 3 different heights. I want to show you here on my cutting mat. Okay. Get them spread out. So I have a short, a medium, and a tall. This piece is 2 3/4 inches wide and 3 inches tall. Okay. This one is 2 3/4 inches wide, but it's 3.5 inches tall. And this one is 2 3/4 inches wide, but it's 4 inches tall. So I'll have a little height differential there. Now what I did was I created mats for each one of these. For example, this one, I have a front mat for it and a back mat for it. I have a front mat and a back, and a front and a back. And I want to show you something. This mat is smaller, but it was a scrap piece left off the end and I didn't want to waste it, so I'm going to use it. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Okay, so before I do anything with these, I want to round my corners because that's been the theme of this album. And now we're just going to assemble our mats because I rounded everything. Start with this piece. Remember, this is the one I cut kind of short, but I really honestly think the way we're using it, it's not going to be a big deal. Okay, so now I have these 3 pieces that are double matted. And I'm going to bring my little accordion back over to you. Now, this is where these will go. One will go in the front accordion fold. Okay. One will go in the second accordion fold. And one will go in the third accordion fold. Just like that. So you end up with 3 in that little box. Now the other thing we want to do is make a little tab for the top. So I have this punch from EK Success, and it's one of these little jagged lines with the stitches, and I think that'd be really cute to run that across the top, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to use red paper for this, and I'm going to make a good strip. Okay, so I did the little trim all the way up the side, and now I'm just going to use my paper trimmer to trim it off. And I want to make it about, I'm going to go with about 3/4 of an inch of a strip. If I can get my blade in. Okay. And now then, let's start with the first one. And I just think this will be cute on here. And just make it the exact same width. It almost looks like a crown. How cute is that? Going to adhere this down. I'm going to go ahead and run the adhesive all the way down. Or most of the way. So that way I don't have to do that very often. Then I'll put on our little crown. Like so. And cut off the excess. That one worked out perfect. And now I'm going to lay this one onto the back side, lining them up. Don't worry about length, you're going to cut off the excess. That one worked out perfect. And then we'll cut off the excess. How cute, looks like little crown toppers. Okay, let's keep going. So now, how cute are these guys? I think they're really cute. Okay, let's put them in our pockets. So we have this one, and we're just going to see that little, it looks like dinosaur fringe. And then we have this one, and it's just going to go right in next. And then we have this one, and it's going to go in next. So you have these 3 little, like, bite pieces. And you could do another layer on top of here to give it some color if you wanted, but when you pull them out, look how cute they are. And look, guys, it's just something. I just put it together. Let's put it in the book and see what it does. So to put it in the book, we're going to put adhesive on the back. You do not have to put tabs in this. It can just be a pocket. And that would be nice too. I think before you adhere it down, you should put your pieces in just to be safe. Another thing that would be cute with these pieces that we just made is to put ribbon on them. So you pull ribbon, you know, the little ribbon pull tabs. Okay. And then, all this red's gonna look good on this black. Just place it in, smash it down, and now you have extra real estate. A good bit too, like 3 whole pieces of photo mats, journaling, whatever you need, all right here for you. And like I said, if you don't want to put anything in here, you end up with a huge pocket. Look at that pocket, it's huge. So that's one element, guys. That's one thing we'll be doing. We'll keep doing some more. I'll just keep adding to it and show y'all videos and how we make things. And I want to show you too that because it's accordion, it'll close really good, especially when you put your adhesive on there. I mean your closure. All right, guys, stick around for more easy peasy mini album. Bye-bye.